96.1. Welcome to the studio at 96.1 Vibes Link. Pleasant good afternoon to everyone out in radio. To the show, and as I promised, you hear me, Governor?
Yes, man.
You might make sure. Whoa. Sorry about that. Speed up them thing and make sure everything right. Please, may I beg you?
Yeah, a little feedback, but I can't hear.
All right. All right, Jersey and America, we have Lieutenant Stitchie in the studio of 96.1 Vibes Link. Governor.
Blessings and honor, enough respect.
Welcome, man. It's a pleasure for short notice.
Yes, well, it's great to be here because had it not been the purpose of the Lord, then we wouldn't be here. So it's the right timing.
And I Major, I must commend you also.
Blessed, man.
First time on the premises at 96.1.
Blessed.
And not your last time. And you fulfill something for me in my career going forward. And I always going to cherish this moment. Because, for short, like 10 seconds, Lieutenant Stitchie, going, boom, Lieutenant Stitchie was one of the artists that I always want to do an interview with. And for you, make it manifest,
And in that note, my brother, I gotta say, big respect to the fireman, because the fireman is a direct link to make all the links that
and make it happen.
Yes.
So people in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut is the first artist I don't even know where to start from. With Lieutenant, with this vast catalog and this vast experience and stuff like that. And a man who, Governor, give me a starting point. Citrus. Can I start from Citrus?
Yeah, you can start from well, you can start from ranking newsworthy.
Well, we don't know that one.
Whoa.
Tell me about No.
That was the first DJ,
right.
ranking newsworthy.
Ranking newsworthy.
Yeah, from a character and one of the Jamaican story on the radio.
Right.
The story I think it called Dulcimina.
Oh, Dulcimina. That right.
Yeah, way back when there was a
so Rankin Newsworthy was a character in the
story
in
on
the
radio.
story.
And I like that character, so I just drawn to myself the name.
Right.
But I'm also a lover of citrus, like
right.
oranges and tangerine and that kind of stuff, grapefruit. And they started calling me in the era citrus, ranking
right.
citrus.
See.
And then it shortened to Stitchie. But when I did one of my first recording, the printer made a mistake and put Lieutenant Stitchie instead of Lieutenant Stitchie, because it was supposed to be Lieutenant Stitchie, Citchie, but he put Stitchie instead.
Which it wasn't a bad look on the flyer for the Lieutenant Stitchie.
Yeah, so but it worked out. It was an error, but it was divine. Let me say it was not an error. Maybe it was an error for me in the first place to say it's Stitchie, but it turned out to be the right thing, because to how I envision Stitchie then and now is that Stitchie is the person that put people in stitches. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Bring fun and laughter and humor to you.
Right.
And now that the transition has been made, it is now Stitchie who stitch back things into place. So you can reconnect your life with the creator.
So the citrus, when if my memory serves me right, when you I don't think you put it out in lyrics, like when you have on stage where you try to bring back people to the memory and the recollective of Lieutenant Stitchie. There was some competition in and around Spanish Town at that time.
Yeah. And people,
like what was it, JCDC something?
Yes, where I was competing against my two bona fide virgin still today, Meeks and Meeks, Little Meek and Daddy Meek.
And Daddy Meeks.
No, Frankie.
Yeah, you know.
So we're still connected to them tight, and that competition was being judged by one of my mentor, Brigadier Jerry.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, he was one of the judges, and also Tommy Cohen was another judge.
Which is a big...
Yeah, and then at the end of that competition, they say I was tied with a girl. She can DJ, but, is not on the same page.
Right.
But them said there was a tie, and then they had a showdown, of which, me come out on top. But I've never heard about the girl since then.
As 96.1, we have the Governor Lieutenant Stitchie in studio, and as you make mention of Meeks and Meeks, there was this clippings that you go back into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think there was this clippings that you're showing where you go back into the neighborhood. Something to a song.
Yeah.
Something to a song where I
Yeah.
see on YouTube where you go back in the neighborhood and you go to the shop. The Rasta man where you and him used to be.
Yeah.
Where we had Stitch.
Yeah,
where
St.
he say,
John's
yo,
Road.
this St. John's Road.
Yeah.
To be exact. So for everyone out there, we have Lieutenant Stitchie and so mix and the competition now. So you move on from the competition.
Well, let me just say this to you that I've never left Spanish Town. You know, that has been my place and my home. And no matter where I go on tour, I'm always loyal to where I'm coming from. Because if you forget where you're coming from, then you're bound to repeat your past. You know what I mean? So I keep a connection with my friends them. And, you know, we keep it real like that. So it doesn't matter how much me expand and how much the boundary grow, I still keep the connection with my friends because I believe that, you know, the scripture says that, you know, a friend loves at all times, but a brother was born for adversity. So they are my friends, so we keep the thing tight and real. So back to the competition.
And from the competition now, Lieutenant Stitchie, where
people promoted me from a private.
People promote you from the private. So you've been coming up in ranks.
Yeah, from a corporal to a lieutenant. And then when I had a clash out by Skateland with Kilimanjaro, with Supercat and Ninja Man and John Wayne, Poddy Roots, and all of those top artists, and with Black Scorpio, with General.
I remember that clash because Stitchie. That is when the governor comes in.
That is when the people lift me up with Stir One and they brought me around.
I remember
Mandela Square.
I remember
the dance hall.
I remember that.
Dance hall.
You know what, Lieutenant? As we get ahead into that, but I remember that night clearly.
Yes.
I remember that night clearly because I was in attendance.
Okay.
And when the discrepancies start from the lyrical content.
Yeah.
Because Scorpio, we don't want to get it. Remember when Supercat feel offended by the coolie.
Yeah.
Because the coolie thing. And then when him start escalating to this thing. And then Stereo One fans. Because Stitchie was one of them DJ where the lyrics and them thing there, him used to just deal with you accordingly.
Yeah, man. Dangerously.
Dangerously. Just brutalize you. And just brutalize you lyrically. You understand what I'm saying to you? And Stitchie, before we get into that, so the first time where you say, well, all right, you know what happened? This thing getting real now, and then you have to balance school with this thing.
Right.
Because remember, your school, you have to balance school with a career that is so prosperous right now.
Yeah.
Or you balance out both now because remember, you're going to where we were going to Tivoli at that time.
Yeah, Tivoli
at that time.
Yeah, Tivoli
and then your
High
career
School.
start bloom now, or you balance out both at that time, Stitchie.
Well, I had my friend, Captain Barkey, that was also a student at Tivoli at the same time, and you know we used to DJ together. You know, by the way, that's a school where Cabra went to. I was a DJ went to Tivoli.
Right.
Cabra,
Ghost,
and Culture, Admiral Bailey.
Oh, Bailey went to
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's a host of different artists that went to that school. Michigan
went to.
Michigan and
Who
Smiley.
went to Excelsior though?
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Okay,
That
all right.
Maybe it
Michigan
was
and
Smiley.
Smiley
Maybe
went
it
to
was
Excelsior.
Smiley.
Oh, so Michigan TG. Right.
So Mitchie went to TG.
So you balance out both right now.
And you know, I used to. It worked out well for me, you know, because I'm from a poor background where we were so poor that we could even afford the OR and poor, so we were just poor.
Right. Real poor.
Yeah. And you know, I got my last textbook when I was in grade 3 in the primary school. So I had to go into the garbage bin, go pick up the book that the richer children would throw away.
Wow.
And so music came in very handy for me because not having the textbook, I used to write out some of the notes from the textbook into my exercise book, you know, but that was still limited, right? So I what I did was study the textbook at school when I have access to them from the other students and make songs out of them. That is how the song came. One of the song came up called Body Body. Learn about your body.
And you break down all the
yes,
the
I break
medical,
down right, all the different structures and the anatomy and the physiology of the whole stuff and memorize them. So this is something that I've been doing from primary school coming up, making songs of the textbook because I couldn't afford the textbooks.
You go in some city?
No, but I've used to visit in some city.
Which primary school you go?
I went to Friendship Primary,
Friendship.
and then I moved on to St. John's Primary.
Right.
Yeah, and from
Good
there
school.
to Spanish Town Secondary, which is now Spanish Town High.
High.
And from there I got a track scholarship to Tivoli Garden. And then from Tivoli I got a track scholarship to GC Foster College of Physical Education and Sport.
And that's when that's when you started to
Yeah.
the P. We call it
Yeah.
P. We call it P.
Yeah,
as P teacher.
I teach physical education and biology.
Right.
Yeah, those are
People,
my
we have the Governor Lieutenant Stitchie in studio on 96.1. And if you're out there and you want to touch base with the Governor, 973-545-8260. 973-545-8260. And a lot of fans out there, you know what I mean, probably you want to ask Stitchie something and the whole thing. And we're coming back. We're going to come right up to the transition. So not easy. And you know, Jersey is a godly state, and a lot of your fans out there at that time. But we have to get the past out before we go into the present.
Right.
And we have I Major in studio too and stuff like that. So Governor, from
So let me just conclude with the question that you had asked me before in terms of how I did handle music at the same time studying. You know, so the music was basically very crucial in helping me to memorize what I was taught in school, so I was able to perform it, you know, with excellence in exams and, you know, doing well in school. So music worked for me in that way. You know, and had to balance that. But when I was at GC Foster, that's what. Well, music has always been the medium that helped me to go to school in terms of providing the school fees and, you know, that kind of a thing.
Right.
And when I went to GC Foster College, you know, I was doing dances and, you know, that kind every weekend and still coming back to get my exams done.
Right.
You know, and stuff like that. But when I graduated and I started teaching, the demand grew even greater because there were dances all over the place. So I was in dance. I had 2 dance. For the whole weekend, I have like about 6 to 7 dances, right? Because we have 2 at least on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then getting back to school Monday morning, I was a farm teacher as well. So I was responsible for a farm.
Right.
So I had to be there, you know, register on time, get in the staff room, you know, I have to set up my lesson plans and, you know, mark the register and then get to my classes and get my stuff in order. At the same time, sorting out my lyrics. So I realized that this was not a situation that was fair to the children, because sometimes I had to be rushing back on a Monday morning.
Right.
Dance finish 4 or 5 o'clock, and I have to get back to school to check in at a certain time.
Wow. Let me hear. You want to talk to somebody?
Yeah, man.
Somebody online. 96.1. Good afternoon.
Hello, Gren. Good afternoon.
Right, we have Stitchie in studio this afternoon.
Hello,
Hi.
this is Anna K. She must be a sister. I want to talk to the general.
All right, blessings. Go ahead, I'm hearing you.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, General, blessings. I'm hearing you.
Hey, Famous, now listen to your radio. Just talk. The governor hear you.
Yeah, just turn on the radio and then you can
Yes,
speak.
General.
Yes, man, blessings.
Yes, Governor.
Yeah, family, blessings. Yeah, man, I'm hearing you loud and clear, family.
Yeah, man, respect, man.
Mutual.
Famous, stop listening to radio and talk to him, man.
Yo, respect, Governor, man. What you mean, man?
Yes.
I prefer to say that Jersey, my boss.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
you don't know your town, them town here in a boss.
From long time, from Papa Moke days, go right back.
Yeah, man, from way back, man, because he's a man who come a far way in the general.
Yeah, man,
You
to
see
God be
me?
the
You've
glory.
been there, you know.
Yes.
You see me? Right now, to all you have the thing going right now, Governor, just go and do it here, sir.
Yeah.
Because the people them out there are waiting for you. Because me there the show in a Ochina, I think, Gary G show, one of them radio stations.
Yeah, Kite Fest.
Show, and to all you deal with the show, the Governor.
Yeah, Kite Fest.
To all you deal with the show there, the people them feel nice going home talking about Lieutenant Stitchie, the Governor.
Blessings for hear that, you know. That has been the general sentiments that I've been hearing right across the board. That I'm the person that took the whole event. Kite Fest.
Yeah, man, from Wolfman days, man, Jonathan and all of them, man, from them time there till now, you know. And you come stand out in a general and show and say, you're a man who dedicate yourself to music, dog.
Yes.
So me I say?
Yeah.
So just keep up the good work. So me I say?
All right, family.
Happy to hear your voice in a jersey. So me I say?
Yeah, man, blessings, man. And
Yeah,
looking
man,
looking
love
forward
you,
that
sir.
maybe sometime in the near future that we can get for do actual show here, so you can actually see the thing. You know, those people who are living here who never get an opportunity to be physically there other than to see it on the YouTube. They can see that the thing is real and it's not fiction. It get even better. You know, God take it to a whole different
Famous face, big up yourself, yeah?
Yeah, man, most natural, man.
Enough respect for the call, Virgin. Peace. And the
Yeah, man,
support.
General.
Yeah.
All right, people. We have Lieutenant Stitchie in the studio, 96.1. And
Yes,
973-545-8260 if you want to shout up the governor and bring him back in a little memory when him come at your gate and brush up some DJ. You know what I mean? If you was at the memorable Redman Stereo 1 where we're about to get into Ashman career, them say them see him on a truck. After that, no career. So we're going to talk about that, governor. We're going to have a nice show. So
Yeah.
finish up, you know what I mean?
I was about to say that having the responsibility as the form teacher, I never thought it was fair to the students and to their parents because I wasn't given 100% of my time in the classroom because music was taking me in a different direction. So I thought it was best to release myself as a practicing teacher within the classroom and decided to do music and to use music as the medium to teach through and then to use the stage, the world stage, as the classroom. Yeah? So I started doing music to teach different lessons in life, not necessarily the subject matter that we do on a regular basis in school. So that's what I've been doing then until this day.
96.1, before we get into our this song right now. You remember that tune now? Yes, man. Hello, little man. Hit me.
Well, this is Mr. Adams, you understand, and I'm representing 5 links 96.1 FM. Well, we're not afraid of any radio station, and we are the baddest radio station all over the world. You understand?
Yo, people, if you're watching on Ustream right now, you can see a vintage lieutenant when you hear a song like this. It just reminds me of the motion.
I would call this the first gospel song that I've recorded. And this is on the first album entitled Wear Size that I did for King
This was on
James.
Weary Size for King James.
Yeah, Bible story.
Lieutenant Stitchie, the whole, when everything started to blossom into this thing now, and the name started to creep out, and people started to say Lieutenant Stitchie. It was in the sound system era in and around St. Catherine. What the name of that sound system? That you
Well, the first song that I started on with a song called Talawino, I had a clash with Charlie Chaplin, because we come from the same era, and he's from the Red Pan era, and we were winning the clash. He was on a song called Field Marshal, and then somebody from their sound, switch up the wires.
Well, that was...
Yeah, put the red to the black and the black to the red, and burn up the two bumps. So even though I was fully charged with lyrics, I never had a sound to spit it out. So it never worked out for us because we were in their era too.
Right.
And then I moved on to a song called the Django Hi-Fi, which is a sound at the back of my lane on St. John's Road, where I'm from. And that's where I used to, ply my trade and, practice my thing. Then I moved on to a song called City Light Discotheque, and started, going around and touring. And I remember, the owner used to pay me at that time like a $10, for a dance.
Which
and
Can I interject? What year was that?
That was like maybe in the 80s.
80s.
Yeah, in the 80s.
$10.
Yeah, and one day I finished the dance and I went back to him to collect because I never collected the night before. And he woke up and came out on him veranda and tell me, say I must check him later because he's sleeping right now. The owner told me that
Him wake up and
come tell me that he must sleep. So I must check him back later on. You know what I mean? And I was really looking forward to it because it should have been helping with the things, you know, starting out. With school and everything, you know. And then I moved on to a sound called Lightning Super Mix. That we had several DJs on Lightning Super Mix.
That's what Wickerman was, right?
Yeah, well, Wickerman was on a sound called Small Axe. But Papa San, Joe Mannix, Ninja Worries, Wolfman, Red Rose, and I was the artist, Leroy the Handsman.
Right,
and it was just like, and Dennis Starr was the selector.
That was Dennis Starr, Junior Starr.
Yeah, and Junior Starr.
And them family,
Yeah, so that was the whole. So it was like just a host of stars coming up, you know, at that time.
But
you know,
in and around St. Catherine, in and around Spanish Town, St. Catherine now, that sound like that was the strongest sound out there, right?
Yeah, it was the strongest sound. And in fact, it just, too much top artists on it that was just lyrically dangerous. You know what I mean? And then everybody started saying that I should, you know, some of the other DJs them start leave to go to different sounds, and you know, I think Papa San went to Lee's Unlimited in town before going to Creation, and you know, everybody started branching off. You know, Joe Mannix went to Arrows and things like that. So the thing started branching out, and then everybody said to me that, you know, the way I am such a tough artist, meaning such a good artist, I should be on a sound system in Kingston. But I said, no, I want to finish my college degree first. You know, so everybody went to Kingston and people hearing them and saying, okay. So I remember when I spoke to Red Rose while I was attending GC Foster College. Red Rose and I are very good friends, and we used to, you know, move together. So Red Rose, I asked him to get a sound for me. So Red Rose went and recommended me to the owners of Stereo, and at that time it was 4 the hard way, you know. And them asked him my name, said my name Lieutenant Stitchie, and them laugh. So you can't have no artist named Lieutenant Stitchie from Spanish.
That's Clifton.
Yes, Clifton. As Cliffy said. You can't have no artist named Lieutenant Stitchie, man. No, that is not no name at all. And the artists them come from Spanish Town are just Charlie Chaplin and Sam.
That's all they know.
Yeah, because that's all they know
out there.
No, and Red Rose tell him, say, no, this is the toughest artist in Spanish Town. And he said, then, I'm tough, I want to hear him. Red Rose said, well, he's attending college. So the man finish up college now, him soon graduate, and he want to get on for a sound in town. And so they asked me to visit them 12 o'clock. So I left college and midday and went to meet him. But I meet him in my sweatpants and my
PE
gear, right? And never look like a whistle and thing. never had a wedding in there, never had a chain. You know what I mean? Never had a chain and I never looked too much like a gangster.
Yeah.
So you know, as the regular feature as a DJ. So them say, well, boy, we don't know. So I say, well, I have a parent P named Wolfman, and
which is a talk side.
Yeah, and me and Wolfman roll, and them say, all right, well, you know, come the Friday night and thing, and
that means they was playing at Morgan's Lane.
Right, a Mikey Dread.
At Morgan's Lane, right over Grand Spender.
Yeah. And them say, let's come the Friday night and thing. Well, no. First of all, them say them had a clash. Them had a clash against Black Scorpio.
So
right?
That's
Whitehall, 35 Whitehall.
The first time them show you out like that.
Yeah, so I remember Cliffy put me in a taxi and him said that him go and pay me, but he wouldn't pay Wolfman. I said, it's okay. I always split when I get with Wolfman 50-50. Because it's my blood. To this day, me and him tight. So paid me the money, and we went to the dance. Me and Wolfman and I went to the dance, but we lyrically charged.
Right.
And the style of DJing is far different. They've never heard that style of DJing before.
Right.
So they were facing General Trees and Sugar Shine and
You know,
Sassafras.
Trees in that time was
dangerous.
dangerous.
Even now, Trees lethal.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And Trees was my cousin. Trees are my cousin.
Okay, like
But biologically,
Wow.
he's my cousin. Yeah, his father is my uncle. You know, so when I was coming up, I'd ask him when they had a 4-sound clash at Cinema 2.
Cinema 2, right.
Yeah, and I'd ask him for a piece of the microphone to talk.
A Scorpio.
Yes. And he never gave me the microphone. Tell me must, kind of back off. As a
Well,
little
that's Trees.
artist where
Well, we know.
not really I go
I
on.
know that's
and
Amos.
things. So,
Amos always do that.
yeah, so me that carry a vengeance.
Oh.
See, me that carry a vengeance.
Yeah,
So
because
enter-
you think so well, family to family,
Yeah, so-
him should have let you in.
Yeah, I mean, I say, well, whenever time I hold him going to understand what lyrics mean. You know what I mean? So, when I heard it was Black Scorpio with General Trees.
You
and-
charge up.
Yeah, but them never really so sharp because no name artist was on the sound
At that time.
at that time. So they believe that, well, this is a walkover, but them never count Stitchie. I mean, nobody never knew of Stitchie. So when I came and at the dance, the other DJs that were on the sound, regular DJ that on the sound, Stereo One, was DJing and
Who you got there and say though before we get into that? Who was there?
a guy named Sleepy.
Sleep, that's a freeway that I see him sleepy, you know. You know, Sleep is somewhere in Jersey, the singer.
Yeah. No, that is not the Sleepy.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
not
know
the
if,
Sleepy
I don't
then.
know if it's the same Sleepy, but this is not this is a
Lushy
nickname
them,
Sleepy.
Lushy them.
Lushy
Bantan,
Bantan.
Lushy Bantan.
Bantan.
Because remember I said Grand Spend, that's the same Sleepy.
That's
same
Same
Sleepy.
Sleepy,
Yeah, man.
who is
You know
Sleepy and
Sleepy, yeah,
Jamaics them and the whole of them because they come from right
Yeah.
up there. So
Yeah.
when you go up there, it was them up there.
Yeah, and Sugar and Danny, I youth named Danny, and also Danny Dreadway. Danny Way used to DJ upon, I think, Peter with Metro Media used to DJ.
Danny
upon-
Dread.
Yeah, he was.
He was up there too.
Yeah, he was kind of the known
Right.
more DJ.
Cause him left from downtown and when go up
Yeah,
there.
so them bring him in and
Right.
thing. So they were the DJs on the
There
thing
at that time.
at that time, and then we'd have you'd have a little artist, a little guy who used to help with the box and thing. Him used to sometimes them get the microphone.
Get a one mic and
Yeah.
you know, cause the boxman become the star after a while.
So they never really knew of me.
Right?
So when I went to the dance, Cliffy never really wanted to tell them to give me the microphone because he know them as the known DJ, and
So him
we
no
are
want push them out.
No, so him no want push me.
Push you in.
Yeah, because
them.
Yeah, it's a clash. This and if them lose the clash, you're gonna hear that them
Right.
bring in some little DJ. They used to call
Right.
it some country DJ.
Right, 'cause-
Them bring in some country DJ, Wolfman
Right.
and Stitchie from Spanish Town, and they are now, the ones who caused them to lose.
Right.
However, them took the chance and them said, give me a one talk off of the mic, and them give me a one talk off of the mic, just one talk.
You jump at trees right there and then.
Jump at the whole set, Scorpio everybody, and the fence just drop flat. Dance finish.
What's lyrics the DJ?
lyrics me
Story
DJ
time.
name.
That's the story time. You never
No,
have story time.
me DJ a lyrics name. I don't remember all I know, but there's a lyrics name Cabbage Porridge.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never hear DJ that before.
Yeah.
Cabbage
So,
Porridge.
yeah. See, boys are kind of funny lyrics.
Right.
And the whole place,
Flat out the-
yeah,
flat out
because
the
they've never
place.
heard that kind of thing. And then at the speed at which I was talking was far different from everybody else. Because I'm a person that normally talk fast. Right now I'm talking to you,
Right.
and I am basically just holding back myself through years of practice.
Right.
Not to talk
You
fast.
always
Yeah, but
have
if you
a-
hear me
that-
on a normal turf, like I'm speaking with like my brothers and my sisters and my friends, but just naturally talk fast.
That's rolling.
Yeah.
So when you put
So-
it, so before you even get into that, so the 30, the Neagle and 33.
No, that's a different thing.
That was-
Different thing future on. So at
Okay.
that clash, Scorpio lost, and then we were invited the Friday night because people start talking about these two little country boy from Spanish Town, and the Friday night them so must come on the HQ, and I said to Wolfman, all right, since I'm the better DJ, I'm the better of the two, I can DJ on any rhythm effectively. Doesn't matter the tempo.
Right.
Yeah. I said to Wolfman, okay, Wolf, we go and take over this thing because we go and run a sound for ourselves, and I am the strategist behind the thing. Yeah. So I said to Wolf, you DJ all the fast rhythm that they come up with, and every Struder one, I will deal with it. I know everybody used to be afraid of the Struder one.
Right.
So that's what we did. and Wolfman deal with the regular rhythm them, Frankie Paul them and and that kind of stuff, and then the studio one.
You deal with it?
Yeah, the Staglock and them kind of rhythm there. And when we finished the Friday night, 4 fence around Mikey Dread. Home.
Down. Flat.
Flat. See?
Live link.
History.
We have the governor. We have the
History.
governor in studio, and we're still in day one. It's a long process, and thing. We look like we're going to finish this evening because the transition and stuff like that. We have the time to do, governor. And you make mention of the so that was Scorpio the first time that that Stereo One with Clifton Henry, which is this global boss that we see him become out of all of that. And then Stereo One now, permanent resident DJ and Stereo One now. Can you get the job now?
Yeah.
No more lushy, no more sleepy.
Yeah, everybody gone, and I'm the person there start.
So
first of all, the sound was called For the Hard Way, and I changed the name to to that and printed a label and started doing it. Because you're just coming from college, you have that kind of mindset to set up the structure and things. So I started writing lyrics for everybody on the sound system. Everybody.
Daddy Blue.
Daddy Blue, Ricky Stereo, Wolfman, Wickerman. Courtney Melody was there.
Courtney Melody come there.
He was called
after.
He called himself 5 and I told him no, he can't name 5 Like after 10 So I named him Courtney Melody.
That's his government name though.
No, his right name is Courtney, but Courtney Melody is just
a melody of a singing melody at that time.
I never knew of singing melody at that time. It was just Courtney Melody. I just called him Courtney Melody because it's just a melody. And then I wrote a song for him called Screech Across the Border. Yeah. And
right.
Wow, you write that song?
Screech Across the Border.
That was one of Stereo One national anthem.
Yeah, I write it.
Once that play,
I wrote that song. Lot of songs I've written. And then for different artists. Yeah. And produce them. Like you Madu song. Teenager in Love. Why must I be a teen? I'm the one who produced all of those songs.
Right, yeah. Because you wasn't driven force. You wasn't driven force.
I'm the producer. Nights girl, what a girl look nice.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, can't the Bible me coming only kill.
Daddy Blue.
Yeah, I wrote that song.
But that rhythm situate all of them songs come out and in that time. Jammies.
I own that rhythm. No, it's my rhythm. I own that rhythm.
Played a rhythm for you. Asha.
Steely
played for you and then go back and play for Jammies though.
No, what had happened is that Steely had played the cut that Jammies have is mine. Yeah, I was the one who gave Bobby a cut from it.
And Bobby was the engineer
and Bobby voice Shabba on it with Live Blanket. Live Blanket.
The woman of a Live Blank, right.
Yeah, and Bobby voice live, because Bobby and I have been very close friends. So I gave Bobby a cut from the rhythm and that's how it ended up in the camp.
So the Stereo One original rhythm. Daddy Blue them and the Natty Dread. So Natty Dread was the first.
Yeah, and what I did with Natty Dread was just to increase the BPM. Yeah, I recorded with Fat Man. Yeah, and just carry up the BPM a little bit faster. So it's a little different from the thing that Admiral DJ and everything done. And thing is still my rhythm.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the history of the thing.
So coming up, you got your hand in the sound system part of it. Clifton Henry, the production part of it, because Clifton Henry to me was just like a regular businessman who just want to get in the business, probably don't understand. So
yeah, no, Clifton just take care of him.
Right. So we do this now. We can do this and we do this and we do that and we do that now.
Right.
Then the label now. And stuff
I originated the label. Went to an art director and I was thinking of Studio One, so that is why I call it Stereo One. So that we can set up a catalog, as our Studio One had a catalog. That was the mindset at the time that I had.
And we see now where you're permanent resident DJ and Stereo One and
so get on Wickerman and Captain
Malibu.
Barkley,
You bring Malibu over there. And then Spanish Town, it become Stereo One did become like a Spanish Town.
And then what I used to do, I used to visit all the, when everybody else were at their beds, I was on the road working 24/7.
Looking DJs.
No, just going to every dance and listening what they are playing as their dub plate, and then would write counteraction for them and find the artists that they use. So if they use Johnny Osbourne, I would write a counteraction to something that Johnny had done for them. So when they draw it, we have the ammunition.
Governor, the first time I hear a dub plate,
Yeah.
play Stone Love,
Yeah.
play a Lieutenant Stitchie,
Yeah, that is the
whole
song.
time teaching.
Well, that is the song that burst Stone Love. I would have said boss.
But,
Yes. So
but-
I'm the person responsible for bossing Stone Love. So and we people know that with all due respect. At the same time, it was the song that caused me to get signed to Atlantic Records.
The whole time teaching.
Yeah.
Whole
And
time
that-
teaching.
I feel live on, and if you follow them, the lesson that you can't go wrong. Zayut man growing up, me get no far.
Give me two lyrics and give me two lines
My
out right
father
now.
and my grandparents know. Well, if I things in my ears, them are out of them. So when you grow up and you choosing your lover, know a woman good before you put ring pan finger. Get your education and plan about the future. Them say that is proper.
Yo, them time when Stone Love, when Rory,
And I was the person who was responsible for both
saying-
Silver Arc as well too.
With-
Because Steely has been my friend too. So that's what I've been doing in working with them with specials. But it worked to my favor because there were some representative, a guy called Dave Rodney, who lives in Jersey here.
right, we know Dave.
And
Big up Dave too.
yeah, big up Dave. And Dave was the person responsible for bringing it to the attention of Atlantic Records. And I became the first dancehall artist to be signed to a major
That was the
label.
international. That was the international start of
Dancehall music.
And
Yeah.
that was before we get into the transition of how this evolved into where it is right now. Lieutenant Stitchie, we see the Cinema 1, we see the Cinema 2, because I remember
Yeah.
Cinema 1, Cinema 2, all them shows in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Stitchie, Tiger. Then you go over to Jammys now. Jammys now give you all of them bad rhythm there. Admiral Bailey, get on the back burner. Who introduced you to Jammys? Because remember the rivalry with the sound system.
Well, the person who introduced me to Jammys is Steely. Steely is the one who brought me to
big up
Jammys.
Steely too.
Yeah, because Steely brought me on his bike back from college. And he was telling Jammys that the baddest DJ come from Spanish Town. But him attend college right now. And Jammys was debating it. And Steely asked them to set up the sound system.
Him have Admiral at that time, right?
Yes, him had Admiral and him have Chakademus and him have Toloti and him have Pompidou and John Will
Yeah.
and Tanto
Right.
Irie and a whole list of them. And then Steely came for me at the college, brought me on his bike back over to
Wow.
Jammys and they string up the sound during the day and say, all right, we must run this competition. And so they held the mic and them do them thing. And then when I held the mic and started DJing, the whole fence drop, and Steely get excited. If you know Steely.
Yeah, you know Steely. I go say, yo, me not tell you.
I dig Steely. Exactly.
Yeah, you know Steely.
Them can't test him. Come, yeah. Artist. And Steely pump on the bike back and
Right now.
Why every friend steer down.
Yeah, every fence tear down.
Every fence tear down.
And then Jammys had, within the next week, Jammys had a 4-sound, a clash of the century at Cinema 2, a 4-sound clash.
Right.
And Jammys came for me in Spanish Town and asked me to come DJ and Jammys. Remember, I was not a Jammys DJ,
Right, it was Stereo One.
yeah.
Right.
But the
But you
man,
hired. You paid for hired now.
yeah, to DJ for the competition. So I brought with me my little black bag and had my record in it. And the record that I had in it was Tiny Whiny.
Right, to put on 78.
Yeah, Tiny Whiny.
Right,
So
remember.
that was a new thing that I had originated to DJ and Calypso. No DJ has ever done DJ and Calypso before. So that was a new thing that I was doing. And then what I did was to step it up a notch. To ask Toops, who was the selector,
Say that, put it on 78.
to at any will, 33, 45, 78, whatever he choose,
Right.
whenever, without notice.
Market life for the market life.
I've started
Market life for the
Taratele yana milazela market. Kalalo patro and asshole lettuce. Only to make the cucumber garlic. Haliba crowd come with the one turnip.
Come on, I have vibe link right now. So that like the Cinema 2 come on right now.
Yeah.
So that like the Cinema 2 now.
Yeah.
Devastated.
Yes, the whole place was, as we call it in Jamaican term, the whole place mash up, and that turn up the thing some more.
You think Jammys, you think with the introduction of Steely to you, with Jammys knowing that you used to DJ the sound system, that was your turning point in your career?
Yes, man,
Because that was
definitely.
when We're Your Size.
Definitely, definitely, and and Bobby and I became very close. Bobby Digital, and reason with Steely and Steely said, right, I recorded a song for Jammy's name, Obia Walking. Obia Walking, this I do,
Right.
Obia Walking, that ain't thing. And then I did a song for Techniques called Lover Boy Says, Lover Boy Says.
Right.
But
Right.
it never opened up the thing. But then, you know, I realized that I started thinking.
But Laba Laba was whose song?
Stereo One.
Stereo One song, Laba Laba. Them Laba Laba, right?
That was the first song recorded on the Stereo One label. Yeah. And the Disease is really played by Firehouse Crew.
I remember
that version.
Right. The Laba Laba. And
right.
then
and then what happened is that I realized that nothing was happening with just the one rhythm, with the one song. So I decided to voice 4 songs one time for jammies instead.
Right.
Because sometimes somebody feel like you can invest a song in you, and after you get the break, then their investment is down the drain. You're gone with someone else.
Right.
So I did 4 songs for him one day.
So Jammies was the first producer who decided, so well, you know what happened? We're going to work production wise. Instead of 1-1 here, 1-1 there. Yeah. So Jammies said, well, all right, let us work.
Yeah, well, it was Bobby who I spoke with, but I did it for Jammies.
Right.
And recorded the 4 songs, for Jammies. And then Jammies came after I'd gone, listen to the song and get excited and, decide that he was going to release, Wear Size and Cat Paw. And when Bobby was mixing it that day, they erased the whole top of the song.
So you have to go back and do it over?
No, but what happened is that they wanted to release it that day.
Oh.
And they were mixing it to be released that day. And it just erased the whole top of the song. And then I just decided, well, I just the Lord work it out in hindsight. That I just left college and went by Jammies Studio that day.
To just check up.
Just to check up. And when I went there, it was my song that they were mixing, that they had just erased it, and we were wondering what they were going to do, because this is the best song on the rhythm and they want to put it out now. So I came just in time to re-record it.
You go from school right there.
Yeah, right, in a little room, and we did over the song, and the song became the song that brought me to this day. Everybody know, Wear Your Size is still relevant.
Well, that was the top
Wear Your Size. And that day, that song was written from written about 2 of my friends that were.
So is that true to life?
Let me tell you about the song. It's written. I have 2 friends to this day called Sammy Question and Earth Soldier.
Comedian from Punishdown.
Right. And they were following me home in a party about 2-3, almost 3 a.m. in the morning. Rain had fell. We were coming through the lane in the ghetto, and one had on a shoes that was too big, one had on one that was too small. Right. So, Earth Soldier had on the one that was too big. So every time him step in the mud, him step out of the shoes. And you don't do that around me. You're in trouble for that. Right. I mean, laughter and fun that you cry. You know what I mean? So I started to make a big mockery of him, and Sammy started laughing at him. And when I went home, I just, turn up the wicker and the home sweet home lamp and just wrote the lyrics about them.
Lieutenant Stitchie in Studio 96.1. We have Lieutenant Stitchie in studio, and it's been nice, going good so far. And Lieutenant Stitchie, the introduction and the humor into the music coming from as I'm talking to you, I see you how much changes you make to this music and this DJ business, because remember that it was just the Brigadier,
people used to rhyme,
people used to just rhyme, and people used to just flow and say, in comes the participation tree, and then whatever the singer say, and then you come with the lyrical content of this thing.
Yeah, that people need to write essays and write compositions and then to structure the whole writing. So if you're writing about our shoes, you just write about everything about the shoes, and people just used to rhyme and talk about anything, making no sense, just a rhyme. And so that changed the business, and when I became the first dancehall artist to be signed to Atlantic Records.
Tell me about that, though.
Well, Stone Love is where Dave Radney is responsible for that, and Dave brought it to their attention, so we became the first reggae
Yeah,
artists.
Stone Love playing that. I
Yeah,
said, wait, what is
yeah.
this? Like,
And even when the rhythm finished, I was still
because
DJing.
right?
Yeah, so
I remember when
that's
Stone Love. I remember when Stone Love used to play at
Tarrington Bridge.
Not Tarrington Bridge, Crossroad.
Yeah.
Because
right.
that's where it right up from State.
Right.
When
right.
when Rory put on that song,
Yes.
and he used to play at the bar right there at
Right.
Crossroad, and I said, wait, what is this?
So,
and
yeah,
then when the
but-
rhythm done, you still hear you a DJ. I said, yo, what is this going
that-
on? And
is that new?
people have vibes to it, and
Yeah,
it
it's
was a
new-
good thing. So
it's
they
a new
hear
thing.
that now.
And then brought it to attention Atlantic Records, and they signed me. And I became the first dancehall artist to be signed to a major label, and also the first dancehall artist to hit the Billboard charts with a song called "Man Enough No How Fi Dress, If a Woman No How Impress."
Yeah.
And a man enough you know, man enough you know, man enough you know how to dress.
Yeah,
And so it it opened up the door for a lot of other things, and I started touring, became the dancehall artist to bring dancehall music to Europe and to Germany. To this day, they have written it in their history book. I mean, the Guinness Book of Record of who is who in reggae. And they started understanding. They never understood what dancehall meant, so I had to explain it to them, even
Why?
on television, what dancehall music is, and that it was not a fad, and that it would last, and it is still lasting to today.
Right.
You know, and so that is the history of it. Even though there might be other claims.
Such a sign into Atlantic and some place where we can remember we're coming from picking up the books.
Right.
We're coming from going into the bins and stuff like that, picking
Right.
up books, stuff like that, and now your art, you practice your art, your craft, and all these things. Now you tour